and welcome to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Baumeister. God, it feels good to say that intro again. Let me tell you, I was going through withdrawals calling it a deck primer. As always, brought to you by the lovely folks over here at StarCityGames.com. So this week we are bringing you Grixis Thopter Sword combo here. An infinite combo deck that uses the forces of Thopter Foundry, Sword of the Meek, and Urza Lord High Artificer to make infinite Thopters, gain you infinite life, and draw you infinite cards. If you can't win the game when those three are assembled, you need to do a little more research on the deck because it is insanely powerful. It's attacking the metagame in such a way right now that is a very smart choice because it has a good Hogak matchup. And Hogak is public enemy number 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now. So having a good Hogak matchup makes a lot of sense why players like Manuel Lentz as well as some other players at SCG Columbus chose this deck for last weekend, and why it would be a good choice moving forward, and maybe be a good choice for not this weekend, but next weekend at SCG Richmond, which I will be attending. So who knows, maybe I'll just have to play some Modern and play this deck. We played a lot of really good matches here. I hope you guys all enjoy the games. Check them out. Alright everyone, welcome to round 1 here with Grixis Thopter Sword combo. Let's see what this deck's all about. Let's see if it's as good as the hype is. Let's see if we can take down the deadly Hogak machine and see if we can still survive against the rest of the metagame. I think that's going to be the bigger challenge. So we're on the draw here, only one land, but we have 2 Astrolabes, which is going to draw us 2 cards, plus a Mox Opal to allow us to have another land. As long as we can get another artifact, as well as the payoff with Urza and a way to search with Goblin Engineer. So I think this hand is fine. I'm going to keep this. All right, let's see what we can do. BBD had some high praises about this deck last week. Ooh, the Tron, huh? We'll see how good this one is. This one, this might not. Tron, I think, is a very bad matchup, actually, which might be a good reason to maybe lay off this deck for the time being. Now, we could play Mox Opal here, but there's really no point, so we're just going to say go. They just do so many powerful things, and they don't really care about, like, Ensnaring Bridge. And, you know, if they just have Karn next turn, I don't know what we can really do. All right, well, so we can go Thopter Foundry and play Mox Opal. Now, Mox Opal will not generate a Snowland, so we cannot actually play an Astrolabe off this. Well, okay, here, we can go like this. We can play Astrolabe first. This is much better. Okay, so we'll play Astrolabe, draw a card. Ooh, Pithing Needle. Does that do anything? We could name Karn. Could name Karn Liberated, because that would be quite devastating to us right now. Or we can just jam. Let's see here. We're kind of going to need a land anyways. So if we go, let's say if we go Wellspring here. We draw a card. We're trying to find that 4th land drop. And then we go Urza. Believe we can just go off from that point if we top deck a land. All right, let's go for the higher upside play and just hope they don't have Karn. And that's a good reason to not play Thopter Foundry as well right now, just because I don't want it to get Karned. All right, we'll pass it back. Ooh, that's not Tron. That's big news. Okay, and there's the land. All right, now what to get doesn't really matter too much. Now we can't actually completely combo off with Relic here. All right, I guess we'll go for a Steam Vent. We're gonna play Urza. And we can actually Pithing Needle. Oh, wow, what? That seems quite silly. All right, we're gonna tap this. We're gonna tap this. Black. All right, we're gonna play Thopter Foundry here. Now we can tap this for Sword of the Meek. And now we can tap. Yeah, that's just game. That's just game. Our opponent should not have popped the Relic there. That was just a mistake. Because, yeah, now we go sacrifice. Ooh, they let us know they're playing Eldrazi Tron. Because, yeah, then what we would have done here is just tap the Sword of the Meek for a mana, sacrifice it to Thopter Foundry. We get a 1/1, and Sword of the Meek comes back attached to it. We sack the creature, sack the sword, and infinite Thopters, infinite mana. And against Eldrazi Tron, there's just nothing they're going to do, especially with that hand. But let this be a learning lesson that what our opponent did with Relic there should not be done, because we could not combo off if they just left it. So, learning lesson. All right, let's move on to the sideboarding here against Eldrazi Tron. So Something screams out Ceremonious Rejection is going to be good. I do not want Fatal Push. I'll take the Thoughtseizes. No Ley Lines, no Dead of Winter. Ancient Grudge could be good. To Fairy Time Reveler, there's not a ton of interaction that I care about, so I don't go for that. This isn't super grindy, so I don't really like Tezzeret either here. Alright, so we'll take out the graveyard interactions. We really don't need those. Pyrite Spellbomb is a secondary win condition, so we want to keep that. I don't really think we need Galvanic Blast. And let's see, what else don't we want? Teferi doesn't seem super exciting to me. Definitely got to keep in the combo pieces. Let's see, I think it's just got to be Teferi here because it's another colored spell that would play into their Ugin if they have that. Plus they have like haste creatures like Reality Smasher to just attack it. So it doesn't seem great to me. Bridge is another card that doesn't seem insane, but I think having access to one just in case they get a couple quick Reality Smashers or Thought-Knot Seers going, I think it's worth it to have it there. I think this is what I like. All right, we will run it. Well, this deck's fun so far. You just get to click so many buttons. And I would have been able to click so many more buttons if they didn't concede right away. Shucks. All right, game 2 against Eldrazi Tron here. Leyline, okay. Seems good. This will be a lot trickier to win, of course. So we're gonna get a Snowland. Gonna go with the Astrolabe. Mox, or Mishra's Bauble, Mox, Opal, and now we have Counter Magic available. Now we can still just win with Urza here pretty easily. Our Goblin Engineer doesn't do a ton. There is the combo, but of course we can't really do much. Well, I think we're just going to... I don't want to sack the Bauble yet. I don't really see a big point in doing that. Go like this, play the land, and we will ship it back. We really want to land for Urza here, and then we can kind of just go off. Mind Stone is fine. Urza's still a pretty quick clock. All right, I think we're going to go with Thoughtseize mana here. All right, Pithing Needle. That's an interesting one. So we didn't get the land. That's disappointing. Now, if I want to be able to still have Ceremonious Rejection, which I definitely do, I'm going to have to leave mana open, so I won't be able to go Goblin Engineer, Sword of the Meek, Goblin Engineer or Sword of the Meek plus Pithing Needle. So I think I'm just going to play Pithing Needle here. See if our opponent responds with Mind Stone. I'm just going to name Mind Stone here. Mind Stone. All right, and then I think we're just going to ship it back. Really want Urza here. The nice thing is... Oh, there's Tron. Ugin. No, thank you. Hard path. Pyrite Spellbomb. Huh, that's not great. I maybe should have popped the Bauble last turn to be able to try to lock down a land, but we're definitely going to do that this turn. We'll go like this. I think I'll just play, oops. I think I'll just play the sword here, and then we will Bauble our opponent here at the end of our second main. Okay, not that big of a deal. Our Urza token is going to be much larger than this Reality Smasher, as long as we can draw it on time. All right, we'll see what our opponent's drawing. Now this does shrink it a little bit, so it's something I don't normally want to do, but we would much rather hit a land. No. Okay, perfect. Get a land here. All right, we'll go with Urza. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can play the Mind Stone and still activate. So we did shut off our own Mind Stone, which is kind of funny, but still not that big of a deal. They just went to draw a card off Mind Stone. Nice, nice. Matter Reshaper is going to resolve. We knew that was coming. All right, so I'm guessing they're out of gas if they're trying to do that. So now we just go nuts with Urza here. All right. Blue, 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 blue. And we still have like Spine of Ishna that we can put into play. Go with an Astrolabe, and then we're gonna main phase it here. Thoughtseize is not bad. Not insane by any means. Now we want to just be attacking for 10 twice. That's kind of my goal here. Play the Bauble for free. We're gonna do this again. 3, 4, 5. Shuffle. Land. Now we're gonna attack. So our opponent is likely to block, and this can't be killed. They'll probably just block with the Reshaper just to like get an extra card, and then we can Thoughtseize whatever they draw. All right, Karn the Great Creator goes to their hand. That is something we don't want to see, of course, so we will get that out of there. Boom. And that's it. And now we have ways to I mean, we'll still have to attack a couple more times, but yeah, writing's on the wall there. Actually, that's kind of a premature scoop. I mean, we're definitely ahead, and we're probably going to win this because we can just go nuts with Urza here. But, I mean, they could have attacked for 5, putting us down to 5, and we have to play a little bit more defensively. Realistically, I could have just equipped a Sword of the Meek to Urza, or at any point I can just activate Thopter Foundry to gain some more life. So this game was going to be in our favor, but yeah, maybe a little premature of a scoop there. All right, everybody, stay tuned for round number two, excuse me, with Grixis Urza. All right, and welcome to round 2 here with Grixis Infinite Thopters. We won round 1 very easily. So far, it just seems insane. They had Leyline to disrupt us from the combo, which we did have, and we could have assembled very quickly, but it just didn't matter. We had a 10-10 construct just going to town. So, all right, so we're going to play first. Won the die roll here. Okay, this hand is fine. I don't think I'm going to blind Pithing Needle, of course. But we can go turn 2 Mind Stone, maybe get Urza down the following turn after, and then play a Pithing Needle or something like that. But regardless, it's a good enough hand. So we do want to get Snowland with the Scolding turn, I assume. So we're probably just going to go Watery Grave tapped for the first turn, and then evaluate from there. All right. No, I think this hand is very good. Of course, you know, play against Hogak and get a gigantic Hogak into play on turn 1. It might not go as well for us. All right. Pass it back. Opponent kept on 7 cards. Tron again. Here we go. Well, with Tron having a dominant weekend like it did, you know, I'm not the least bit surprised that it's crushing here. Now we do have a Pithing Needle target that I think I'm actually going to name here. So I want to go Mind Stone, Pithing Needle, Expedition Map. They might really be relying on this, you know. Expedition Map. Then we have a Mox Opal. And now we're just kind of doing it. We're not too far away from the combo at this point. So let's hope they do not have, still have Natural Tron, you know. This could have been a bit of a bait trap to get us to Pithing Needle this map, but I think it's probably good. Tron kept 7, so easily could have just been like Power Plant, Mine, Map, then Tron, and if we cut the legs out from under them, you know, I mean, it's just GG. Like, okay, what do we got? Relic's good. Relic is good against us. Play Urza High Artificer. Get a giant creature. Go here. Black. Thopter Foundry. And now that's all we can do. But next turn we would have the combo. Without the Relic being in play, who knows? Our opponent might sacrifice the Relic, which we hope, but it would probably be a bad play. All right. Now we hope they don't have a Karn. Tron Karn, of course. Natural Tron would be a T, as we like to call it in the biz. No, Tron. That's an island. What? Did they misput their forest in play? Okay. Well, now we're just going to attack. And we can combo off at instant speed here. Just gonna play it slow and steady. They could easily have a counter spell of some kind, but they could also just have, like, you know, Thirst for Knowledge here, right? Okay, gonna go infinite. Actually, we'll let them do this first. Less information. And they can, you know, they can still have like Oblivion Stone here to deal with this, but I still think we do this. And I mean, I guess we could have went Word to just try to attack for infinite here. So maybe this was a bad play. All right, so we'll try to do this in the most efficient way possible. With their opponent not conceding, I'm starting to think they will probably have an answer. But if they do have Oblivion Stone, maybe this is a perfect reason why we should have just went for it with the construct. So we don't have to do this all now. I just wanted to get some in to make it lethal just in case they have some piece of interaction. I can't really think of anything they could have, but all right, that's enough for now. And we'll see what they got for us now. Now, if they go like Relic in response, then we combo off for much more just in case. Basically, all we would need to do is make 14 or 15 Thopters. So just in case they repeal the construct or something like that, we can still win. All right, that is not Tron. I do not know what they could possibly have here. Our Pithing Needle really got him good. All right, so we're going to continue the comboing. And even if they disrupt this in some way, it just doesn't matter. They're probably just trying to take some time off our clock. All right, so forgive me for focusing on this. I mean, it's not like there's any play-by-play to really analyze, but yeah, okay. Matter of time. All right, we went infinite. Now, Blue Tron, huh? Blue Tron is going to be sideboarded very similarly. So I actually am changing my mind on Teferi now that I think about bouncing if they do have Leylines. Leyline is just like the new hot thing, right? Like kind of everybody's playing it. So I just have to assume that every deck has Leylines. I really don't need any graveyard. Now we probably just don't need this card. I'll keep it in just in case. There'll probably be a problem that pops up that I'll not be thinking of. I do not need a bridge against regular Tron. That seems bad. Now, what else do I want? Ceremonies, Rejections, and Thoughtseizes. This time we're just going to leave in the Teferis. We took them out last time, but I actually think they're quite good if they do have Leyline, because then they just can't cast them anymore. So, I'm about it. Now, Goblin Engineer is one card I'm not really too sure of if we want to keep it in or exactly when to take it out. It seems like a key combo piece that people maybe think to take out, but maybe it should just always be in. So we'll go like this. We just take out the very obvious stuff. We don't need graveyards. They're not going to be attacking us. They're going to be destroying the bridge if we played it, so there's no real point in keeping that. I'm going to keep this. This hand doesn't have any payoff yet, but we still have a piece of disruption as well as a way to generate to some stuff here. All right, so the map, we would love to be able to disrupt that, of course, but will not be able to. All right, we're going to go Astrolabe, Bobble, Mox, and Fire of Thoughtseize. All right, so there is Tron, but that's about it. Now we can just take the counter spell. Yeah, I think Thirst is more important, so we'll take that, and we will say go. I don't want to sack Bobble yet. There's nothing I really need. We're just going to draw some cards next turn and kind of do a little bit of setup. So if we had a Pithing Needle again, it would have been nice. But of course, there is only that one copy. Astrolabe. Fairy's not bad. Just to eat up a counter spell, basically on the turn we're gonna cast it is pretty important. Or the turn that we're gonna cast something like Urza, I should say. Okay, that's another thing that's gonna be perfect. So we probably will pop a Bobble now. I want to know what they're with. But if I were to sack Bobble now, before they sacrifice map, I'm actually not gaining any information. So that would be foolish. I'll let them do that. They use this. Now I want to see what they're going to draw. Hopefully not a... Oh, that's a pretty good draw. Okay, we drew another Bobble. Now they'll probably go River of Tears. Add blue if you played a land this turn, and black instead. Okay, so River of Tears, actually, they can't cast... I don't think they have blue mana during our turn, right? If you played a land this turn. So yeah, it's just adding black, unless I'm mistaken here. So I still want to Thoughtseize them, and then just Teferi, I guess? All right, we'll fire a Thoughtseize off. Unless I'm forgetting how River of Tears works, which could have easily been. Okay, weird. Okay, there's the Thirst. Doesn't matter too much because I do get to just see whatever goodies they draw. And maybe they don't get a land here and they have to discard 2 cards. That'd be great. And now this Teferi is going to dead Condescend. So discarded Tolarian West plus Tectonic Edge. So we're not going to care about the Condescend here. Wormcoil is not even that big of a deal either, but they can still cast it. So we'll take that. All right, so that's their 4 cards. God, this deck is gas. All right, now we're gonna go Teferi Time Raveler. We're gonna go Bobble. I wanna see what I wanna get perfect information. Another land, no big deal then. We're gonna tick up. We're gonna just be like doing some Ichor Wellspring tricks here. Since we don't have anything yet, but we're so close to the combo here. God, this deck is so sweet. I am a fan. So now Condescend does not work. All right, another Teferi. Now I just wanna draw some cards. This allows us to draw 2. Okay, so I wanna be able to maximize the chance that I draw Urza, so I'm gonna play this first. So I could still go land Urza if I draw it. Urza! So now we're just gonna go, we're still just looking for it. We're gonna go Wellspring. Now they have big draw. This turn is a big draw for them. No, you can't do that. Sorry, Teferi. Everyone forgets the static. Not ideal, of course. We're gonna thin our deck. We don't need anything besides basic. We have so many Astrolabs and stuff, so. Yeah, now if we don't get anything off the top, you know, we're not doing much. And if they go like Ugin or something, we're obviously in a lot of trouble. Right now their hand is very, very manageable. Yeah, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more Tron in the queues here. Okay, that's no big deal. They might have some utility land that might scare me a little bit, but doesn't look to be the case. Okay! People just do not want to lose to this Urza deck, apparently. Easy 2-0 so far against the Urza lands, and I think Urza land should be a little bit worse of a matchup, but... I will say the mono green version that won the Pro Tour and the one that won the SCG in Columbus last weekend are more focused on, are just mono green Tron, the standard mono green. So mono blue Tron and Eldrazi Tron would be a lot better for us, but hey, we'll take a 2-0 when we can take it. Stay tuned for our 3rd and final round with Grixis Sword. All right, everyone, welcome to our 3rd and final round here with Grixis Sword. Let's get this 3-0. So far, the first 2 rounds were quite easy, I have to say. All right, so we can use Goblin Engineer to get a combo piece. We would still need Urza to go infinite, but this hand does have Thopter Sword, which sometimes that's just enough. So I'm gonna keep this. This is not the strongest hand I've ever seen, but I think it's fine. Okay, so we're gonna start with Astrolabe here. All right, draw a card. Our opponent's keeping 7. I see no reason to not play this. We're not gonna sacrifice it yet. We're gonna just try to lean in with Goblin Engineer a little bit. Now we're gonna get that sword in the graveyard. Okay. We don't care, but if they gain as much life as they want to, because we're gonna do infinite. So we don't need red mana, but just in case if they destroy Astrolabe, We do have another one, so it's probably unnecessary here, but we're going to engineer anyways. All right, I'd like to use this. Put Sword of the Meek in the graveyard. All right, and then we'll say go, and then, yeah, it's already time for whir. Next turn, we'll just go Scalding Tarn, go. And then bring back Thopter. All right. We don't want to sack Mishra's Bauble yet because we do still need that artifact count. And we can't actually play this Astrolabe. Oh, no, now we can. Because that'll be blue mana. So we can actually play Astrolabe as well here. And now we're just looking for Urza where we go infinite. Yeah, and maybe we get Urza now and we just play that. Ooh, don't really need that, but... So we'll play this so we have another blue source available. And we might as well attack. Nah. There's no point. So they might sack and gain a bunch of life. All right, so what are we afraid of out of a Martyr of Sands deck? Not much. I really can't think. I mean, this is very good probably at defeating Hogak. Just gain an absurd amount of life, lock them out with Bridge. I really think the metagame is going to be going quite well for Grixis Sword, just because everybody's trying to beat Hogak. Okay, I mean, this is definitely good. If gaining life was good. All right, another Martyr. All right, so now we'll sack. And whir for 2 here. This deck is good. Whir for colorless, colorless. Yeah, we'll do it for 2. Now, they might have to Martyr now. What if we went for Pithing Needle? We're not going to, but... All right, Thopter. So now we have the combo. Now we can just make a good chunk of them. So, all we're going to do is just say go. We are going to bobble ourselves. We should actually do that now. Bobble ourselves, see if we want to sack Scalding Tarn. AKA if there's a good card. No, we don't want that. All right, draw a card. Another engineer. We can go for like, okay, we can't go for like Spine of Ishna. We'll see what we search for here. I mean, as it stands, we're just going to make 5 Thopters and just start the aggression. And if our opponent attacks with Ranger of Eos, we'll just go to block it. We'll go to just make some Thopters and block it. Pop, lock, and drop it, as the kids would say. Oh, wow. And I mean, now we're just going to, bring back Baubles as well. Gain a little bit more value while we slowly kill them, because Urza is what we need to go infinite. Right now, we can nickel and dime them, and it'll win eventually, but... Alright, so let's see their hand. 1, 2... Okay, Anthenice does something, I guess. But overall, I'm not afraid of this. So it was these 5 cards. Sure. So Anthenice can get our engineer and stop a little bit of development, but we don't care. Alright. Alright, so we're going to do it now. Going to sacrifice this. Make a 1-1. Boom. Sacrifice this. A 1-1. This does get a little repetitive, but it's still just so broken. Sacrifice this. Make a 1-1. Try not to time out. That's, I think, our #1 problem with this deck. Sacrifice this, make a 1-1. And now we'll use this engineer to get back... I guess it's the same, right? We would rather get back this. All right, Pithing Needle. Shuts down Martyr nonsense, if we truly even care about it. All right, well... We'll go Astrolabe because we're still just looking for Urza. And now we can just keep sacking Astrolabes and getting back Bauble, then sacking Bauble, getting back Astrolabe. Just kind of go infinite off that. All right, Bauble. I think we'll take a peek at our opponent. Right now, like I said, we're just drawing for Urza. Now we'll play Pithing Needle, see if they respond by sacking Martyr. If not, we'll just get Martyr. Martyr of Sand. Speed up this game, basically. Like, we know we're gonna win, but we might as well just try to win a little faster. Now, let's get the engineer. Let's see what we want now. Okay, so we could do another combo piece. Doesn't seem necessary. We can go Spell Bombs. Doesn't seem important. Wellspring, I guess, since that gains value when we play something. Wellspring, we'll sacrifice Astrolabe. Oh, whoops. Pay red. We're not able to cast this right now, so maybe there's not a huge point in doing it now, but we're so far ahead here. Okay, we will attack. All right, and we will say go. Now, they cannot use Martyr of Sands anymore, and we can just keep Goblin Engineering, just switching back and forth here until we find Urza. Yeah, it doesn't seem possible for our opponent to win, just in general, unless we time out. But now we actually only... All right, thank you. Our opponent is being the nice person. They knew it. Okay, mono white. What kind of sideboard will they bring in against us? Maybe some paths, maybe some Pithing Needles, maybe some graveyard interaction, but overall, I just don't know if we're supposed to care about it. I'll bring in this as an additional way to win. I mean, this has to just be a great matchup for us. Do we care about them attacking? I'm gonna leave the bridge in just in case if they transition into something else. Leave the spine in. That kind of solves everything if we really need to like whir for 7 to deal with whatever problem card. Galvanic Blast doesn't seem that good. Cage doesn't seem that good. Spell Bombs don't seem that good. God, it's tough. I just think we're just so wildly far ahead in this matchup, and I don't know exactly what I want. I guess Teferi stops instant speed stuff. It's just a good card. Thoughtseize just take a peek at their stuff. All right, I like it. Let's see if we can get the 3-0. So far, these have been just the easiest matches I have played here on Droppin Bombs. Gotta love it. Maybe this deck is just this powerful. I mean, BBD played it. I respect his opinion very highly. Eli Cassis played it. He absolutely loves the deck. They both did extremely well. Maybe I was just wrong to play. Hogak in the first place. I kind of doubt it because Hogak was insane, but we're gonna keep. We can use black for Thoughtseize as well as we have Urza. No, it's definitely going to be matchups that's bad, and maybe we're just running into all the good ones, but as of right now, it's kind of been a beating. All right, so we'll go with Astrolabe here. Our turn 1 is not that great when you don't have Mox Opal and a mass amount of artifact. All right. Now, we don't have another way to actually cast Thoughtseize this turn, but that's okay. So like a Bobble or something there would have been insane, because then we'd get to Thoughtseize plus play Psy next turn. Rest in peace. Okay, all right. Our opponent came to... be a little prepared, but like I said, we have Psy here. We thought of this plan. Let's see if Rest in Peace even does anything to us. I kind of doubt it. You don't need the graveyard with this deck. That's the insane thing. Like against Hogak, boom, got me locked up. You know, we got to figure out an answer for it. But against this, not as much. We'll go like this. We'll cast Mind Stone. That unlocks Opal here. And we can already cast Urza, so I am just going to Thoughtseize to see what's going on. All right, so Sarah's Ascendant is the one where if you have a bunch of life and a bunch of Field of Ruins, which we don't really care about. Ajani is the only thing that could get annoying, so we're going to take that. We'll let them have Sarah for now. Sarah could be good. Maybe that was a mistake, because Ajani is going to be pretty easily managed, but Sarah really is too. Like, it doesn't have Trample, right? Yeah, we can just block with Scythopters. I mean, our hand has so much value. We're just going to play these creatures and just go crazy. We have basics. Lots of them. Now, maybe do we want to sack Mind Stone? No. There's one. So our opponent has Field of Ruin and one mystery card. We can just go get another blue source here. We don't want to take a bunch of damage. We're going to go like this. And we could go Psy plus Mind Stone. I think getting Urza in play first is a little better. Yeah, we can actually just go Urza and then Psy. And then we just absolutely slam dunk. Plan B has been engaged. Are we just gonna just 3-0, 6-0 extremely easily here? Because I think we might. Yeah, our opponent's just like, okay, I have dealt with your combo pieces. Now I am just easily gonna win this game. 2 win conditions. All right, everybody, Urza Sword is insane. Those were some of the easiest matches I think I have ever played. Stay tuned to the recap where I'll talk in depth about the card choices as well as some of the other interactions so that you can play this deck moving forward. We'll see you there. All right, everybody, welcome to the recap here with Grixis Urza Sword combo. That may have been the easiest 3-0, 6-0 of my life. I mean, like, none of those games were even competitive. Sure, we played against some obscure decks, but that's what Modern is, you know? And I think some very key things to take away from this deck is our opponents tried to beat us in the same way, okay? They tried to beat us with Graveyard Hate, like Leyline of the Voids, Rest in Peace, which is a very popular strategy and a very popular answer to today's decks, and it does stop us. It does stop our infinite Thopter Sword combo, but that's not everything with this deck. We showed very easily that even if they have those things, we just drop Urza, we just drop Psy, we just have these alternate win conditions so that we can still win just in a fair way while still disrupting them with cards like Thoughtseize, Ceremonious Rejection. You can still bounce these pieces of hate with Teferi Time Reveler. I just think this deck's insane, and I feel absolutely stupid for not playing this deck a little bit more before the Pro Tour. Now, granted, you know, in Mythic Championship 4, I did go 8-2 with Hogak, and I think the deck is absolutely insane. So maybe I shouldn't feel bad about my deck choice because 8-2 is a very good record, and in fact, the best record out of anybody in the tournament. There were plenty of other 8-2s, but, you know, I did just as good as them. All right, so let's first recap the matches. Round 1, we played against Eldrazi Tron. Game 1, we just comboed off on like turn 3 or 4. There was nothing they could have done. Oh wait, actually I take that back. They misplayed on Relic. They relicked a little early because we did Pithing Needle their map, I believe, right away to kind of slow down their assemble of Tron. And then they kind of panicked because they're like, oh, I don't have Tron now. And they left, or they sacked Relic right away. And then we're just like, okay, win. Then games 2, they had Leyline on turn 1. We I believe locked them out with a Pithing Needle to get their Tron lands as well. Maybe that was only one of the games. Maybe I'm misremembering that. But then we just went infinite with Urza. We made a giant construct, and then we were just activating 2 or 3 times, and we were controlling their hand, we were controlling their battlefield, and they just couldn't keep up. That was a W. Then round 2, we played against Mono Blue Tron. A little bit of the same story. We were able to just disrupt them. Teferi Time Reveler was insane because we were able to shut down their counter spells. And we were able to just infinite combo them once again. They didn't have the Oblivion Stone when they had to. And I believe we even might have made a mistake where we gave them a chance to Oblivion Stone. Now, if they would have had like Repeal, which the deck does play, then they could have just got our construct anyways and we wouldn't have won. But it's unclear if they had that. So maybe we could have just won a turn earlier, but we ended up taking it down still pretty easily. And then in the last round, we played against Mono White Martyr of Sands. Like, I knew this matchup was going to be an easy slam dunk. It's like, sure, you can gain a ton of life, and you can control the graveyard the best because you play the best sideboard colors in Magic right now in Modern, which is white, because you get Rest in Peace, you get Stony Silence, you get all these phenomenal cards, and I'm sure they had them. I'm sure they had Stony Silence. We didn't see it. We did plan for it. We brought in Urza, we brought in Sai, and then game 2, and even now that I think about it, we probably should have brought in Tezzeret as well, just to turn these artifacts into big creatures. Now that I think about that, I think we made a mistake in sideboarding, but it just didn't matter. They went Rest in Peace. We went, okay, Urza, Sai, go. And they're like, yep, no way I can beat you playing fair. I wanted to stop your combo, and that's what they did, but it just did not matter. Okay, now we're going to move on to the specific deck choices. This deck I copied from Mythic Championship Top 8er. His name's escaping me right now, so sorry for that. He was the only person in the top 8 of the Mythic Championship and actually went in as the #1 seed. Phenomenal player, played the deck with expertise, and honestly made it look easy a lot of the time. So we'll go into the card choices here. 1 Gemstone Cavern. If you're on the draw, you want to get lucky, there you go. 1 Hollowed Fountain, 1 Steam Vents, 1 Watery Grave, all different targets for Polluted Delta and Scalding Tarn in case you need one of the colors. This is a Grixis deck. Technically you have Grudge as well, so it could be 4 colors, but Astrolabe gets you to that as well as Mox Opal. And then the rest of the lands are just snow lands. You just want to be casting snow lands. This is a snow deck to its core because you're just casting Astrolabe, and Astrolabe is unreal in this deck. Go to our 0 drops. Mox Opal is one of the best cards in the format, and it's one of the most important things in this deck. It's able to accelerate you. Sometimes on turn 1 it allows you to have 2 mana, but most of the time for turn 2 you can have 3, as well as, on turn 3 casting Urza, which is a very important thing. Bobble is great because, like I said, it's that 0 mana casting cost, and then when you really need to draw that 4th land, you can Bobble to look for information. You can look at information on your own deck when you have a sack land, like, okay, I want to see, oh, that's another land, I don't want that. Scalding Tarn, get that out of there, and then draw a new card the next turn. And then we got a couple of just Whir of Invention targets. Grafdigger's Cage, now Spellbomb, Pithing Needle, Pyrite Spellbomb, and then Galvanic Blast is just a nice removal spell here. But these are all just specific targets for Goblin Engineer and Whir of Invention. Getting these cards into the graveyard with Goblin Engineer means that you can sacrifice another one of your artifacts to return these kind of silver bullets, we'll call them, against certain matchups that they're important. As well as Pyrite Spellbomb is just being another way to kill your opponent. You can just add a bunch of mana with Urza, or just sacrifice it, deal 2, sacrifice an artifact, bring it back, deal 2, just in case they have like Ensnaring Bridge where you can't actually attack your opponent. So it's an alternate win condition against that and any other kind of shenanigans that might stop your creatures from attacking. Pithing Needle, obviously great, being able to shut down random stuff. Karn Liberated. We did some work against Expedition Map when earlier in the rounds. Spellbomb and Cage against, you know, the Boogeyman, Hogak here. You want to have a lot of main deck ways to deal with that, as well as Ensnaring Bridge is just an excellent main deck way to beat the Gak. And then, like I said, Engineer and Whir of Invention serve the tutor aspect where they can help you find the combo pieces, where they help you find Sword of the Meek, find Thopter Foundry. Goblin Engineer does an awesome, cool little thing where you play Engineer, throw Sword of the Meek into the graveyard, and then when you play Thopter Foundry, you can sacrifice something, and then it just comes back. You don't even have to sacrifice something with Goblin Engineer. It just does that on the card. Ichor Wellspring, when you're kind of trying, you want that in your graveyard if you have Goblin Engineer and you're just trying to find Urza. You put it into play, sacrifice it, bring, let's say, an Astrolabe back. You draw a card for Ichor Wellspring leaving the board, and you draw a card for Astrolabe coming into play, and you can just kind of keep doing that, swapping and swapping, and drawing a bunch of cards. Teferi Time Reveler, just another great card. It shuts off instant speed interactions so that you can combo off with Urza in peace, as well as it just bounces Ichor Wellspring to draw a card, bounces your opponent's stuff. Like, Teferi is phenomenal in this deck. Bridge is very important, shutting down these aggressive decks. There's certain decks where you just play this game one and they just can't win. Hogak being one of them, the best deck in the format. Don't have to talk about Urza. It is the bloodline of this deck. Urza is so powerful. I just had no idea how good of a card it was until I started playing with it today. I mean, it is just insane. And then we have Spine of Ishna as a huge word target when we have a bunch of stuff, when we want to maybe destroy an Ensnaring Bridge of theirs, or any troublesome card, really. All right, and then we'll move on to the sideboard here. We have one Scythopterist here, something you bring in when they're going to bring in Graveyard Disruption against you. Ceremonious Rejection is definitely for any Urza-based decks, Tron, and any Tron accessories. Fatal Push against these aggressive decks where you just have to slow down a little bit, you know, as well as, like, collect Oof decks, the green Stony Silence card. That's a very big problem. Thoughtseize against any combo deck that's trying to go fast. You bring it in against Tron as well. Dead of Winter against anything that's trying to go wide. It's a Wrath of God. It's a great Wrath of God. Leyline of the Void against Hogak. Ancient Stirrings against any artifact-based decks, like you bring it in against Tron, it has text there. Hardened Scales, it's very good against. Affinity, if people still play that. And then another Teferi, whenever you want to, a slowish matchup, whenever you want to slow things down. And then Teferi, as well as Master Thopterist, whenever you want alternative win conditions, when your opponent does have Rest in Peace or Leyline. We actually should have brought it in our last match against Mono White Martyr, but I did kind of overlook that and realize it as I was thinking and talking about the sideboard decision. All right, everybody, that's it for this week's Dropping Bomb. Oh, it's so good to say that again. I better say it again. That's it for this week's Droppin Baum. But I'll be back next week for another fun brew. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.